After a winless World Cup in 2011, Japan appointed Eddie Jones as head coach to lead them into England 2015, and the Australian has certainly made an impact.
Japan's rugby history at the World Cup's not terrific. You know, they haven't won a game for 24 years, and the one game they did win was in '91 against Zimbabwe. So what we've tried to do over the last 4 years is change the way Japan's played rugby, create a unique style of Japanese rugby, which is more about keeping the ball and using the ball and trying to use speed and skill, because we don't have the size, so it's no use us trying to play an orthodox sort of game.
In his efforts to lift Japan to a higher level of performance, the former Wallaby coach has succeeded in taking the players with him.
He is a very precise coach and has a good eye for the details. That applies to both on and off the pitch. I think his way of coaching and his philosophy explains why he was the coach who was able to help us deliver wins against big nations such as Wales and Italy.
With his ideas and strategies starting to bear fruit, Jones is confident the Japanese squad will be in their strongest ever position when they host the World Cup in 2019.
Well, I think at home, if 60% of this current squad goes through the next World Cup, they're going to have a team that has over 600 caps, which is, you know, a lot of experience. How good they be will be dependent on the other 40% of players who come out of the domestic leagues, how quickly they can improve and adjust to Test rugby. And the big advantage Japan's got going forward is that in 2016 we have a team in Super Rugby. So the Japanese players are going to get a lot more top-level experience.
But the man who took Australia to the 2003 final will not allow his side to be distracted from the immediate task of breaking new ground in England this year.
We're aiming to make it to the quarter-finals. Japan has never won a World Cup, and it is time for us to change that and create a new history for Japan rugby. Ideally, we would love to get into the semi-finals.
The difference between the World Cup and normal Test matches is that every team has 3 months to prepare. So teams are fitter, more organised, and teams that you beat before the World Cup are much better at the World Cup. So our aim this year is to make sure we have our absolute perfect preparation and then get to the World Cup and play our style of rugby and hopefully win some games. And our target's to make the quarter-final, which might seem lofty, but if you go to the World Cup, you've got to set yourself to go to the quarter-finals at least.
And Jones will be hoping his side's performance in the upcoming Pacific Nations Cup will give the Brave Blossoms the chance to flourish in September.
The Asian Three Nations is a nice buffer going from the players playing domestic league in Japan, which isn't of great standard. The Asian Three Nations is marginally higher, and obviously the Pacific Nations we play against countries we're going to play at the World Cup, so the level really rises. So it's a nice step-up progression for us.
The Pacific Nations Cup gets underway this week and will be a key factor in preparation for the World Cup for the 6 teams involved. Fiji started their 2015 programme last weekend, but the Maori All Blacks were too powerful for them, extending their winning streak to 19 games.